Hello, this is your Davis-Monthan Air Force Base A&P training course, Townhall. I am Master Sergeant Hurley, along with Master Sergeant Chamberlain. Our team members here are listed on the right side with squadrons and POCs listed. So please find your POC for your respected squadron or group and reach out for questions. These are the FAA requirements that are mandated by the FARs, which were revisioned back in 1976. There are 4 major requirements. The first one is you must be at least 18 years or older, read and write in the English language. Any 2 Alpha career field, FAA mandates only age is not part of this. However, there are ways for age to become certified for the A&P. So please reach out to a member of our team. And then finally, 30 months of career experience. This time starts at your first duty location. Again, these are all mandated by the FAA. Obtaining your tickets, there's 2 main ways to obtain your tickets. The first and fastest route is to go talk to an FAA FSDO office, which stands for Flight Standards District Office. Our closest one here in Tucson is Scottsdale, Arizona. With the 8610-2 process, you will go and interview with an FAA FSDO. You will be required to show all your TBA or my training or any kind of records that show that you have performed aircraft maintenance in the Air Force. The second route is the Joint Military Airframe and Power Plant Program online, or what we like to call the virtual canvas route. In this route, there's no need for an interview with a FSDO, and anyone with your A&P or Tech Sergeant or higher can sign all your documents. In this route, you'll be stood up with a Canvas course, which is all online and open book. And then finally, they will give you a form that looks like TBA, which again requires an A&P or Tech Sergeant or higher to sign. Tickets are good for life. So please, if anything, get your tickets. They are good for life. These are 2 pictures of the both processes. The one on the left is the FSDO process, which is the 8610-2. This form will be filled out and signed by the FAA FSDO. And finally, the one on the right is the CCF virtual route. This is the form that will be filled out, and instructions are on our SharePoint page for both of these processes.
So what you're seeing right here, it's what we're doing right now through the July class, what we just did in July. We have September coming up and November class. It's a 2-week course. First week's going to be doing a lot of the written stuff. Here and there between it, we're putting certain practical tasks that you would do on your test with the DME, and then you're just going to go back to studying until all your written tests are done. After the first week, you should have your general and airframe test done. Moving into the second week, finishing up your power plant test, and then from there, we just finish up with a couple more practical stuff, and then work on our orals.
We have our current course is a 2-week course. This is for the September and November courses. The prerequisites are you must have your tickets, either the 8610-2s or your certificate eligibility from the CCF. And then finally, we'll perform the written, oral, and practical prep to make sure that you are ready with the FAA designated mechanic examiner, or as we like to call the DME. For future classes, January on, it's going to be a 3-week course. We're projecting 40 to 50 students per year, and there's no prerequisites for these classes, again, from January on. Members will obtain their tickets through the CCF route with that added on week for the course. And again, we're going to go through the written, the oral, and the practical prep for all components to make sure that everybody is ready for the FAA DME. So what we've done so far, we have established FAA certification of Proctor all FAA written test here at the 755th AMXS. This is open to all active duty, retired, family members, everyone that has base access for free of cost, no matter if you pass or fail the test. Typically off base, these run about $175 off base. So this is a very big opportunity to save some money. We've attained a Cessna 172 that everybody has learned is in front of our parking lot in the 755th AMXS. Created a 2-week course, soon to be 3-week course. And for funding, which we'll get into the next slide, is broken down between the ECG and the 355th MXG. And finally, we're starting to collaborate with Maxwell Air Force Base to streamline this process across all Air Force bases. Furthermore, there is testing for all FAA tests to include A&P and pilot ratings. So no matter what FAA test it may be, we are able to administer it here at the 755th.
That testing includes dependents, children, anybody that has a military ID card, access to the base can come in here and take those tests. So after you finish all your written tests, all practical, you're done with the classroom, the 2 weeks, we get you, by the end of that 2 weeks, we get you in contact with the DME. His name's Dave. He's an awesome dude. He will schedule you for your testing. Once you'll go to Pinhall Air Park, you'll do your test. It's 6 test totals when we're talking about general airframe power plant through oral and practical. And you'll knock it out in about a 3 to 4 hour time frame. If you do end up failing a test with a DME, the squadron will only pay whether you're MXG or ECG, you only get that one-time payment. So each test you potentially fail, which if you follow what we tell you to do, you won't. It's about $200 each test, but let's not worry about that.
All right, going over to funding. So any member in the 55th ECG, everything is free of cost. So our squadron commander has authorized $1,300 DME fee is paid by O&M. If you belong to the 355th MXG, Colonel McRae has authorized $650, so half of it being paid by AFREP funds. The other $650 will have to come out of pocket or by utilizing AF Cool. So again, the DME fee, which is non-negotiable, it's set by the actual FAA, is $1,300. For ECG members, it's free. For MXG, you will have to be using $650 out of pocket or AF Cool. So how does the testing fees work? There's 3 oral and 3 practical, 6 tests total, which comes out to the $200 for each test. As Sergeant Chamberlain was saying, if you do fail one of those sections, it will be about $200 for each test.
Only thing that's not on the slide here is for reservists. There is nothing in place right now with leadership there. So when something does come in place, awesome. But if it doesn't, that one's going to be Air Force Cool.
Or $1,300 out of pocket. Yeah, absolutely. We just added this in because it's an AF Cool policy. If you do utilize AF Cool for that $650 or for you Guard and Reserve on active orders, the full $1,300, please upload your license, your AMP after you have obtained it back into AF Cool so they can close out your goal and make sure that they don't come collecting after the 120 day. They will come collecting for that money. So again, please upload it back into AFEC and message AF Cool on there.
Once they collect it, there's no way to get it back. They don't even entertain it anymore.
So this is an additional resource. Let's go ahead and jump into our SharePoint to kind of showcase what we have going on. All right, once you're into our SharePoint, the first thing up here is this guy. If you click it, it's going to bring you to the introduction briefing, the same thing we're kind of recording right here. But it's going to give all the same information that was received at our AMP brief town hall and this virtual one as well. On the right side, we have QR codes that are linked to our AMXS building that will give you driving directions for Google Maps and Android. And then we have IACRA website, PSI website, AMP YouTube list, just a plethora of different QR codes that link to other websites. The biggest thing is our class course dates, which are all listed here. This goes all the way out into July. We will have the August one here live shortly. But please line up these dates to the course that you wish to attend. I will say the September, January, and November classes are completely full at this time. But please check the dates, sign up respectively.
We're starting to keep these dates updated every other month. So once we get the next class, it's going to be September coming up. And then it won't be till September where we get to throw one for November for the next year too. So it's going to be every other month. Just keep checking regularly. We'll keep a year out moving forward.
And we'll be sending regular emails out to everyone in the MXG to show that we are opening up these slots for everybody. The first step we need to look at is here. Step 1, complete the tickets and canvas route. This goes back to our PowerPoint slide that we were showing earlier, the 8610-2 route if you'd like to talk to a FSDO, or the canvas virtual route, which will be implemented into the January course. Step 2 is signing up for a class. So go ahead and click this link. It's going to bring you to a form. You put in your information, you select which class you would like to go to, and at the very end, you hit submit, and you sign up for a class. We will say contact number, please, if you can, if you're willing to provide it, put your cell phone number. That way we can make sure that we reach out to you personally if we need it, or when we create the group chats for the classes, we have your cell phone number already. Step 3 is going to be prepare for the class. In here we have course material, YouTube library, and the classroom material. If you want to self-study beforehand, click any one of these links and it's going to bring you to all of our documents. And then finally, our additional resources. Here we have FAQs that have been asked in our town halls and kind of on the side, one-on-ones, as well as how to set up a course if you are going to be PCSing to another base. So what we've done here, we've streamlined to other bases. And if later on down the road, if you want to, or you want to share the love to some POCs at other bases, how to set up a course is right there. And then finally, videos, how to AMP. So in here, we'll click it. And if Aaron, you want to explain what's in here?
So in here, we have instructions for how to do, like we talked about, we have a PSI QR code at the front of the homepage. We have another one for IACRA. If you're trying to do AMP on your own, but you don't know what these things are, you want to sign up, there's a lot more videos than just that. But you can come in here and literally find a how to sign up for PSI, how to make an IARC account. There are other things here talking about study prep, how to use SharePoint. We're going to update that one if you get to it before we get to it, because we overhauled our SharePoint. Introduction briefing, what we're doing right now, a whole bunch of videos, and then you don't even have to be able to do it on your work computer if you don't have speakers or be able to listen. We basically put in here also with the video a QR code, so you can just go right to the YouTube with your phone at work and be able to watch it.
Absolutely, everything is on our YouTube for the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base AMP program. Scrolling down, we got some nice pictures from our July class. Members are looking how they're doing some sheet metal repair. And then finally, our primary POCs and contact information. Myself, Master Sergeant Hurley, Master Sergeant Chamberlain, as well as all other POCs that we saw on that first slide a few moments ago.
And they email all of them at one time. This is also the email you can hand type in there. That's the Davis-Monthan Airframe and Power Plant email. One thing I just want to touch on real quick is when we're sitting here, you might see FSDO meetup sign up thing. So Sergeant Hurley brought up that we're probably going to start having a local FSDO here on the base. That's going to be where you sign up for it. It's no different in the process as far as you just input a couple information. We're going to add a couple more things to this, basically, so you understand what you need when you go to the interview process. But you'll be able to sign up here, and then the FSDO will reach out to you each month. For those that sign up that want to try to get tickets that way.
Absolutely. This FSDO is guard. He comes down once a month. We're going to be speaking with him shortly at September 15th to get more guidance here and a lot more information coming out in the future. Here's some question and answers that were asked during our last town hall for our AMP. The first one states, if I have less than 30 months experience in my first duty location, can I still attend the course? Sadly, at the time, no, because the 30 months is an FAA hard requirement that we have no say in. So if you are less than 30 months, you cannot sadly attend our course. Once your 30 months hits, though, please start the process, sign up for a course. We'll get everybody started. Second question is, what will the FSDO require from me? This can vary from every FSDO. Again, hours we utilize here are from Scottsdale. We may or may not have a reservist coming in soon. That is a FSDO. But results may vary. What I can say is make sure that you have every training record that you can think before going to interview with them. If you are not a crew chief, I would highly recommend that you do the virtual route, as we may not have the same cut train material that crew chiefs have. Do I need to submit permissive TDY? No, this course is ran as almost an FTD feel. It is an alternate duty location, which is per Colonel McRae, as well as 55th ECG leadership. Where is the class located? Classes are conducted at the 755th AMXS. There's QR codes on our SharePoint that direct you directly to our squadron.
So the next question, can I get study material before the course start date? Absolutely, you can. We send an email out 30 days prior to the course starting, and that way you can come stop by here. We'll hand receipt out 4 books. 3 are going to be for your written test, and 1's going to be for oral and practical, and you can start your studying ahead of time. Also, if you want to start even earlier than that, on our SharePoint, we have the link so you can get access it on there and study from the same exact books we're going to give you. Can I use money out of pocket? Absolutely. Always use your own funds if you want, but we don't recommend it since we have this resource available to you on base and you have Air Force School. If you're one of those people in Article 15s, I get it. Do what you got to do. How long are my funds from Air Force School valid for? So this goes back to what we were talking about on that one slide for Air Force School policy. After the 120 days from acceptance, from your scheduled or projected schedule date is when they require you to start getting that stuff uploaded. So don't schedule it too early. We'll figure out about when you're going to be scheduled with a DME, and that's going to be our projected schedule date. You have 120 days from that to complete it. And can I sign up for a class before I have my tickets? You can sign up for a class without your tickets because technically you won't have your tickets when you're doing the QTP route through the virtual Canvas and the QTP route, and that's what we're going to go to in January. But before that class, the September-November class, we absolutely need tickets for. Moving forward, when we say in January, we're talking about January 2025. Who knows in 2 years from now if there's people are still listening.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's highly recommended that you sign up. It'll help the class go a lot smoother, and it's always good to prepare before the class. Are there any phone apps that I can use to study? Of course, there's the highest one that we recommend is Prepware. It's ran by ASA. It's either through the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and it typically costs around $15 for all three. I'm in the reserves. Can I use funding? This kind of goes back to the funding slide. Yes, you can, as long as you're on active duty orders. So normally if you're an AGR or an ART, if you're in the reserves, yes. If not, you'll have to pay out of pocket, which is $1,300 for the DME. And that's something that we just cannot control. Can my civilian relatives take a written test on base? Going back, yes. Anyone with a ID card that can have base access can take any FAA written test here through the 755th. You can sign up through the PSI website. Can I retake any tests that I fail? Yes, written tests do not cost anything if you fail. Again, it is free for all military. But for oral and practical, it will cost about $200 per section.
Are the orals and practicals done on base also? No, those are done at Pinal Air Park. It's an Army base about 45 minutes from here, from Davis-Monthan, and it's going to be done with Dave. If I am unfamiliar with any sections, unfamiliar with engines, what can I do to get familiar with those areas? Great question. So this goes to the QTP 3-week course we're talking about, January 2025. The course will extend to 3 weeks. In that first week, it's going to be about 500 tasks of practical, where in the 2 weeks we do pretty much 15. Those 500, it sounds like overwhelming, but I swear to God, we're going to get you through it. It's actually going to be a lot of fun. But once you do that, through that first week, we'll get your QTP packet sent off to Maxwell and have a 3-day turnaround, and you'll be able to start your written test on time with everybody else. How do I know what course dates are available? All that's going to be on our SharePoint. Our SharePoint has everything from course dates, study materials, QR codes for location, everything. Anytime you have a question, SharePoint first. Can I still sign up for a class of more than 10 people signed up? You can sign up, keep signing up, but once we hit about 11 or 12 people, we're going to cut it off. If you're interested in being a backup still, just email out to the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base airframe and power plant distro email. That's literally what you need to type into the gal to be able to find us. But you email that out saying you're interested, you want to be a backup because the course is locked out. We will make note and put you as a backup, but to be honest, I doubt anybody's going to drop out of those classes.
Yeah, that was an excellent question. To kind of caveat on that one too, the 10 people per class is kind of hard set just because of instructor availability, the classroom size, as well as funding. We're trying to make this free across everybody. And the MXG, 355th MXG and the 55th ECG, we only have a certain amount of money, and we can only facilitate 10 per class or 40 to 50 per year. That is it for our town hall. We appreciate everybody. If you have any questions, please check our FAQs that are on our SharePoint or reach out to any POC that you saw on that first page. Thank you so much. You got anything else, Aaron?
Nope.
All right.
Good
Have
luck.
a good one. Good luck.